Okay, welcome back. I'm hoping this will be a short stream. They're still deliberating in Texas. I've got a nice little soft eviction case to entertain us while we wait. Just checking the wall of ham is still going strong. And there's 5,600 people watching over at Law and Crime. So here we go. Let's roll this case here. This is out of Michigan.
And see if you can guess who the sovereign citizen is. If you said the jackass holding up the Secretary of State sign, then you'd be correct. Because today we have a sovereign citizen in court who gets evicted in style. Softardian style, that is. So let's begin.
Calling case number 22393437. This is Pasadena Investments LLC versus Dwayne Davis Jr. and all occupants at 2170 East Jefferson, Unit 1007.
Your Honor, for the record, Attorney Frederick J. Coleman, P. 56548 on behalf of the plaintiff. Your Honor, Mr. Davis at this time owes $6,706, court cost of $157. This is a subsequent hearing.
All right, Mr. Davis or Ms. Davis? Okay,
yeah, I'm
the
beneficiary of Dwayne Davis right here. The beneficiary.
What is it?
Are you Dwayne?
Do you really have to ask? Because clearly he's the beneficiary of copious amounts of fetal alcohol.
Excuse me. Are you Dwayne Davis Jr.?
I'm the beneficiary owner right here.
Do you reside at 2170 East Jefferson, Unit 1007?
Yes, the estate does assign there.
Do you reside in that property?
The beneficiary, yes.
The person I'm talking to, is that the person who is in this property at 2170 East Jefferson? You're not answering my question.
I don't fully understand it. Say it again.
All right, okay. At this point, I don't see anyone who resides at 2170 East Jefferson, Unit 1007. If you do reside there, please make the court aware of it.
Okay.
Your Honor, since the defendant has not identified himself as the defendant in this particular case.
I just did. I just told you I'm the beneficiary.
Your Honor,
the name.
Your Honor, since the defendant has not identified himself as a person in this property, he's attempting to try to act like he's a sovereign. This property is owned and it's an apartment building. We're asking for a default judgment at this time. If he decides to pay it, that's great. If not, we'll be moving forward after time expires.
Before we proceed with this matter, can I ask the director of the beneficiary? I'm talking to the plaintiff, sir.
Then why don't you just call him the plaintiff, you idiot? All that this quantum grammar bullshit has ever done for the sovereign citizen movement is result in more fraud, more convictions, and, like today, more evictions.
My legal person, I'm showing you right here, a corporation. Can you write me in 21 days and provide me evidence that you have legal?
Your Honor, none of that is required by law in this court. I'm asking for a default judgment this time. Quit wasting the court's time. If he wants to file the appropriate court paper or identify himself to the court as you've requested on numerous occasions, then we can proceed forward. At this time, playing these legal games is against. I
have a birth certificate right here.
Against the law. Two, we provide the court with a lease agreement. We provide the court with the ledger. We're asking for a default judgment.
The court is in receipt of a summons, a complaint, a demand for non-payment of rent, as well as a lease agreement.
The summons was never notarized.
Signed with Dwayne Davis Jr., as well as a proof of service.
Well, they do have proof of service, so they don't need it notarized. And even if they did have it notarized, they would still need proof of service. A real lawyer would know this.
Mr. Davis, Dwayne Davis Jr., how much is your monthly rent?
I want to say 900.
When's the last time you paid rent?
Long time. Siri paid my back balance, but Pasadena never put it to my account. So I consider Pasadena either took the money or what. I don't know what they did with it, but Siri definitely paid it. It's on the record. It's on my the record with the Siri. You can find it in their profiles. But they're supposed to pay my back balance.
I don't know. I can't find it in my profile. So you qualify. Sarah paid. How much did Sarah pay?
They paid up to like September, but they didn't pay they're supposed to pay July, August, September, but Pasadena never put that to my account.
Your Honor, if it wasn't applied, my client didn't receive it.
Uh-oh. Someone may have committed a crime. You see, SARA is a COVID relief fund that was used by many residents of Michigan during the pandemic. Sometimes the SARA funds were paid directly to the landlord, but other times the SARA funds would be paid directly to the tenant, and the tenant would be responsible for giving it to the landlord. If SARA paid that money out and the landlord didn't get it, then the sovereign citizen did. And if the sovereign citizen didn't pay the landlord like he was supposed to, well, then that dumbass may have just committed theft or larceny by conversion, which is basically the conversion of money or property that belongs to somebody else into personal use, like edible paint chips.
That is not our burden.
Okay.
It's his burden.
But that's in documents though that they were supposed to pay. I have it in documents.
Your Honor, I'm not going to sit and argue all day, Your Honor. Bottom line is, the money is for his benefit. It is not for my client's benefit. Just like paying a mortgage payment. If I send a mortgage payment in, if it's not received, it's still on me. If you send a mortgage payment on my behalf and it's not received, it's still on the person who has the mortgage. He's the renter. It is his responsibility to have the money paid, or to whoever's paying on his behalf, that we receive it. We have done everything we're supposed to do. The documentation speaks for itself. At this time, again, I'm requesting for either default judgment or judgment by hearing.
And then I'm talking to the plaintiff. Can you just write me and saying that you have authority as a public servant to me?
Excuse me, but what makes you think that he's a public servant to you or anybody else? He's an attorney hired by the property, and he don't owe you shit except for a swift eviction.
Your Honor, I am not writing. I'm not
Mr. Davis. This is a landlord-tenant court. This is summary proceedings. This is the second hearing, and you're afforded legal counsel. Legal counsel was available. They said that they could not assist you at this matter. Are you even identifying yourself as Dwayne Davis Jr.?
No, I'm the beneficiary of that name.
So are you not Dwayne Davis Jr.?
No, I am not. I am not.
Okay.
Well, that's one way to speed run the eviction process. Just don't answer the call to defend yourself and let the other lawyer stick his boot up your sov hole.
Okay, we are entering, the court has not received the call or answer from Dwayne Davis Jr. Does anyone on this Zoom reside at 2170 East Jefferson, number 1007? Is anyone present who lives in that property on this Zoom?
Your Honor, again, no one's responded, asking for my default judgment. We can submit it to the court before the end of the day, along with the full ledger.
Default judgment granted.
Thank you, Judge.
Please submit the paperwork. Colin, you're free to leave. Well, nobody identified themselves, so calling the next case.
I love how he just sits there wondering what just happened. I mean, I truly believe that at this point in time, he thinks that somebody's about to sweep in with a victory crayon cake. But no, they just give the landlord the default judgment, and just like us, they move on to the next case. So if you liked the video, leave a like. If you disliked it, what's wrong with you? Leave a dislike. But don't forget to leave a comment below and subscribe with notifications on so you don't miss any of my content.
Okay. Hi, Badger. I've just been looking for the next video to play here. Let's take a look and see what we've got. It's been quite the day. Let's take a quick look over here. It looks like nothing much has changed over here. Looks like Law Talk with Mike is doing a late night while killing time. Boy, you can never find a particular stream when you want it. Okay, let's see. What else did I see? Aowen has come over here to say hello. Okay, well, this one here is Law Talk with Mike. He's always interesting.
I'm coming to you from Chicago as usual, and I just got sent a very good clip by Meg. Thank you, Meg. We've got us, a Karen, and at the end of the day, she betrays herself. Also a soft sit, and she doesn't consent to being sentenced. Let's give it a look, shall we?
Thank you. At the request of the county attorney's office, I'm going to call this case first. It's State versus Shayna Marie Blackshire. This is the date and time set for sentencing.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good afternoon. Caleb Blackman on behalf of the state. The victims are here as well, Your Honor.
Thank you. And this is in case numbers 22-209 and 23-005. All right. So I understand we're trying to work.
This is obvious, but I'll just mention it because I've been doing this a long time. The victims being there puts a lot of pressure on the court to get whatever business they have done today, because these people have taken time out of their day to come down here, and they're victims of a crime. So you don't want to send them home and say, oh, you know, she can't behave. You want to complete the business.
This out, but she's not here, right?
No, she's not, Your Honor.
All right. Who's here? Who's appearing from the state? Is Ms. Hunley appearing remotely, or are you covering?
No, I'm appearing, Your Honor.
Oh, okay. I thought we were doing this first because she. So.
I'm here also, Your Honor, but I was actually present for the Aguilar Chavez matter.
Okay, I think that was Ms. Hunley is also present, who's permitted to appear remotely with the court's permission. Counsel for the state, the defendant's not here. She's refusing once again to come up. I've instructed the jail and detention to bring her up. We got a message during the lunch hour that the jail detention wants me to issue some kind of order to bring her up. I don't know what they're talking about. She's on the calendar. That's the order to bring her, but they want some other kind of order from me, and I don't know what they're talking about. Do you have any information on that, either Ms. Hunley or Mr. Wagner?
I don't have any information on that, Your Honor, and I would agree with your assessment that she's on the calendar and she must appear today.
Thank you. Ms. Hunley? And I should note for the record that the law requires the defendant to be here in person for sentencing purposes, and that's why I've ordered that she be brought here for sentencing. But Ms. Hunley, do you have any additional information?
I don't, Judge. They generally call me to tell me that they're having an issue, but I didn't get a call today asking. I know that they made that same request during the trial when she refused to come, and we were discussing whether we were going to have her involuntarily brought to the courtroom. So I'm not really sure if that means she's refusing to come or what that means.
She's refusing to come, and you know, which was not unanticipated, but I don't know what kind of order they're expecting me to execute. I've ordered that she be here for sentencing. She's on the calendar. I'm not going to draft orders that go into any specifics about how they should bring her up. That's not my job to do. I mean, you know, I don't advise the jail or issue orders to the jail about how to designate their prisoners or what kind of medical treatment they should get or how they should be fed or what happens to their mail. So my position is that's the issue, and for the persons who are delegated that responsibility to figure out how to bring her up here. But anyway, I haven't had a chance to discuss it with them, and I'm not sure if it's even appropriate for me to do that. I think it's county attorney. I understand you hadn't been informed, but you are now, and maybe you need to consult with the jail about what it's going to take to bring this prisoner in so she can be present personally for sentencing. I don't know what else to do.
Judge, I'm happy to call
Your Honor, yeah, because we
to...
were told by our supervisor, we were going to bring her until we told our supervisor that she didn't want to come. So our supervisor told us to get an order from you. And it's when all that...
No, I'm not blaming you. You're just the messengers here. Yeah. And I haven't talked to your supervisor. Here's Sir Para, but I mean, I don't...
We can bring her like in 10 minutes. We can bring her for... I don't know. We can have her up here like in 10 minutes.
What's going on? All right, I mean...
So I was talking to my sergeant right now. He said that I can bring her up here, but if she's here in the holding cells and she doesn't want to come out, he says that you have to state on the record that you're ordering us to forcefully bring her out. We can forcefully bring her up here to the holding cells, but bring her out here to present herself in court, it's all depending on what you say on record.
All right, well, I don't think it's good practice for us to be hashing this out here in open court. And so, and I've never been in this situation before. I think I know the answer, but I don't intend to hash this out in court with the jail or detention officer. So I think we should continue the matter and have the county attorney consult with the jail. I mean, you're the legal advisors and advise the court about what you think the appropriate course of action should be. I'm sorry. Yes, Ms. Hunley.
I apologize, Your Honor. I'm happy to tell them to bring her up now. I think that I'm not sure why they believe they need an order from the court on that, but I'm happy to talk to the jail commander and the supervisor, Ms. Pata's supervisor, and let them know that they just need to bring her.
Well,
and we can have her up there in 10 minutes.
Well, we can. I don't want to bring her up here until there's an approved plan in place that everyone agrees to, because that's just moving the problem, closer to the court. But I think we need to have a clear plan in place. And so why don't we pass the matter? If you want to try to talk to them in the interim, I understand the victims are here and they want to participate in the sentencing, and I think they're sometimes come in from out of town or from other parts unknown. So,
Your Honor,
I'd like to respect that, but yeah.
Sorry to interrupt, but
Sorry.
So what my commander told me is, as long as you say that you want her up here, we can bring her up here. you don't need an order. You just need to say that you want her in here now. Is what he told me.
I think they're just trying to be respectful of the court, Your Honor. They didn't want to bring her in with force if the court wasn't aware that that's what we were doing. I think that's all. They were just trying to make sure they had your permission before they did that in your courtroom.
Well, I'm not gonna do anything now. Ms. Hunley, if you have the wherewithal and to have some communication with them while we're here in the law and motion calendar, then we can revisit the situation later in the calendar. But I like to know exactly, kind of make sure everyone's exactly on the same page before I bring her up here to the holding cell. So we'll pass the matter. We'll look at it again in 45 minutes, an hour, and or Ms. Hunley, you can send Mr. Wagner or something, a text or a message saying you're ready to go back on the record in this case, and we'll recall the case. Okay?
Sounds good. Thank you, Judge. Yep.
All right. Thank you very much. All right, so we'll pass these matters for now for the reasons stated.
Oh, good Lord. Bureaucracy at its best. I do understand what's going on here. There's a separation of powers issue, frankly. I think the judge is being a little too uptight about it. We're making a mountain out of a molehill. I agree with him in substance, but just say, yes, bring him up here. Bring her up here. It's her date for sentencing. That is what I want. And I'm aware that that she might be combative. But nonetheless, I've got victims here. Bring her on in. That's all that needs to happen here. Oh, and don't worry, it gets worse.
Officer Parra, I thought I heard Ms. Blackshire's voice. Is she here?
No, it's another inmate. We're planning on going to get her. We already got the okay from my commander to bring her up here, but we're waiting.
Okay, I thought I'm glad she's not here. That's what I wanted. Well, I mean, because before we discussed the matter, were you dealing with this? Were you dealing with something else out there?
I was dealing with something else, but I'm also in touch with Ms. Hunley. I'm prepared to discuss Blackshire if you're ready, Your Honor.
Okay, we'll recall the Blackshire case.
And Your Honor, Kim Hunley is still present as well.
All right, now, all right, so where are we? All right, well, let me ask you this. My preference is to discuss this, on the record, because I just think everything ought to be in open court on the record, but I don't want to get into anything with the jail, that can be dealt with, can be better dealt with in private.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but I don't think there's any kind of disagreement. I think the jail is prepared to bring her in the restraint chair if that's what the court would like. We just want to make sure that that's the court's request before we do that, just because we didn't want to disturb your courtroom.
Mr. McEwen, you're here, you're advisory counsel. Have you had any contact with your client that might help us decide what we need to do here?
Good afternoon, Your Honor. J.T. McEwen, advisory counsel to Ms. Blackshire. Your Honor, I went by the jail in person on March 20th, Your Honor, and I regret to inform you that I don't have any contact because she refused to see me.
All right. Well, thank you then. So
there's that.
Let's pass this matter towards the end of the calendar and see what we can do. Now,
would you
just
like
to be
us
clear
to
on
bring
that?
her in the?
Well, I'm not gonna. Are they gonna? Is the jail gonna expect me to order some specific methodology for bringing her into the courtroom?
No, Your Honor.
I don't think so, Judge. It's just that as we discussed previously, we were taking direction from the court in terms of, did you want us to force her into the courtroom? Did you not want us to force her into the courtroom? So I think they were just following what our protocol has been in the case all along, just to make sure we had your correct direction on what it is you wanted us to do. If you're ordering her to be present, then we'll bring her. And if that means we need to bring her involuntarily, if that's your request, we'll do that. I don't think that we just wanted to make sure that how we were bringing her was going to be acceptable to the court, and just getting your direction in terms of and what your request was specifically.
All right, thank you. I understand. That sounds reasonable. Well, how many other in custodies do we have on the calendar right now?
We do have one more in custody aside from Ms. Blackshire.
All right, so why don't we take care of that person, then you'll be able to clear the holding cell out, and then we'll take a recess, and we'll bring her up, we'll finish the calendar, and probably take her last. How does that sound?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right.
Hallelujah. We've resolved it. The obvious resolution. We've arrived. We have arrived. Clear the courtroom. Take care of everybody else first. Then bring her in because she might throw a fit. Oh, and by the way, she does make it in.
Thank you. So let's keep going. Is this the other in custody? Great. All right.
Here she is. Preemptive goat.
The presence of the defendant and her advisory counsel is here. We are here on case numbers 22209, 23005. This is the date and time for sentencing. Again, just for the record, your true and complete name is Shayna Marie Blackshire. Is that correct?
Can you please state your name for the record, ma'am? Do you not? Okay, thank you.
Service is denied.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
Service for this is denied.
Okay, I'm asking your name at this point. Is that your name, Shayna Marie Blackshire?
My name is Blackshire.
All right, thank you much. That court takes judicial notice that it is the presence of the defendant. The defendant is present. This is the date and time set for sentencing. The court, the jury has returned verdicts in this case. The jury verdicts are that the defendant is guilty in CR 22209 of count 1, unlawful flight from a law enforcement vehicle. It's a class 5 felony. It is in violation of ARS 28624C, 28622.01, A1, 22624C, 283001, 3304, 3305, 3315, and ARS 13701-702, and ARS 13801. The date of that offense was on or about February 5th, 2022. The verdict of the jury that she is guilty of count 3 of the information, that's criminal damage. It's a class 1 misdemeanor. It's in violation of ARS 131602A1, 131601, 13707, and 13802. The date of the offense was on or about February 5th, 2022. Count 4, the jury's verdict was guilty as to count 4, burglary in the second degree. It's a class 3 felony. It's in violation of ARS 131507A, 1501, 701, 702, and 801. The date of the offense was on or about February 5th, 2022. Jury's verdict was guilty as to count 5, resisting arrest, a class 6 felony. It's in violation of ARS 132508A1 and 13701, 702, and 801. The date of the offense was on or about February 5th, 2023, or 2023. All right, the offenses are non-dangerous, and I'm going to reserve ruling on whether or not they are priors and repetitive until I hear the arguments from the state. I reviewed the pre-sentence report and its recommendations, and obviously I also presided over the trial. And I noticed that there are three, at least, I think three of the victims are present, right? 2, 3? Only one. Okay. I got my reading glasses on, so I can't see them. One of the victims is present, and if the victim wishes, that offense wishes to be heard, she'll be given an opportunity to do so. Let me hear first from the state. Would that be you, Ms. Hunley? Or Mr. Wagner?
I'm prepared to go forward if Ms. Hunley is not, Your Honor.
All right, go ahead, Mr. Wagner.
Thank you, Your Honor. I think it should be noted, first of all, in the pre-sentence report, I think I have an obligation to correct the pre-sentence report. The prison range for each of the offenses listed is the correct prison range considering that the defendant is a Category 2 repetitive offender. We proved the prior felony conviction in a bifurcated hearing with the jury, that she had a historical prior felony conviction, thus making her eligible for sentencing in the Category 2 repetitive offender range. Those numbers are listed correctly in all of the tables that are listed under the offenses. However, I would note for the record that the jury, during the bifurcated part of the trial, also found that the defendant was on felony pretrial release at the same time as the offense. The state also filed an allegation to such an effect. That allegation, pursuant to 13708D, enhances any sentence given to the defendant by an additional 2 years. So each of the numbers in each of the tables that are listed should be elevated 2 years, just so the court's aware of that going in, because of the allegation and the proving that the defendant was on pretrial release at the time of this case.
Right, hold on.
Relax. Don't grab me. We won't grab you. Just behave. Just comply and we won't.
You all right?
I have special rights.
All right, no.
I want to go back in the holding cell because the situation here is not right.
All right, no one's touching you. No one's laying a hand on you. As long as you just stand there and listen and
I hear you, but what's being said is not correct.
well, then you'll have an opportunity to clarify that and argue that it should be clarified and
And
corrected.
I disagree. So I just want to leave. I have no business here other than being threatened here, and that's not fair. If I say I do not want any participation, I have special rights that should be respected, and I shouldn't be here. If I'm here by force and because individuals are threatening me to be here, that's definitely not fair.
No one's laying a
Karen has special rights. That's perfect.
hand on you. No one's threatening you. You're like,
I was threatened to come in here, yes. It was stated that if I do not come in here, physical force will be applied. That is against the law.
well, here you are. Here you are, and there's been no physical force whatsoever.
They just physically touched me. 3 of them. I'm uncomfortable. I do not want to be in here. I disagree with what's being said and how it's being done.
Okay.
The courts lack jurisdiction over the subject matter.
Your excuse.
Oh, here we go.
You're gonna vacate the hearing. Esmeralda Veronica Villegas, 22078.
Well, there you have it. Karen has special rights, and the court lacks jurisdiction. It took a long time to get there. We
Welcome back to the channel, guys. Remember this encounter between Judge Middleton and Samir Siraj Mauro Bay in St. Joseph County, Michigan, about 6 months ago.
Mr. Perdue, you got another ticket for driving with a suspended license. Second offense, that's a misdemeanor punishable by up to a year in jail and a fine of up to $1,000. You're also charged with speeding. I'm assuming you're going to plead not guilty to both of those?
No, of course not. I'm innocent, and my name is not Mr. Perdue, so I would appreciate if you didn't call me Mr. Perdue.
Mr. Morrow, okay? Let me tell you this. Stop. Yeah, you're from some alternate universe where you don't have to obey the laws of
No,
the
you
state.
don't respect the law, sir.
Stop. If you drive again here in St. Joe County, I'm going to set your butt at $10,000.
They continue to pull me over, and they won't leave me alone.
Well, stop driving. At least stay out
I
of
don't drive. I travel.
All right. Traveling is one thing. Driving is another. You can travel all you want. All right, but let me make this
That's
clear.
what I'm doing, and they won't let me travel. They won't let me travel on my own land. And you're violating the law, and you know it.
Well, one of us is. I'm just telling you, if you continue to keep driving on some cockamamie
I don't drive.
you're behind the wheel of a car. Give me this BS about traveling versus driving. I'm just telling you right now, you heard it here. you drive again in St. Joseph County and you get another ticket, I'm going to set a very high bond. You can sit in jail for 28 days until we sort this out.
Well, they are back for another bout, but Mr. Bay is late for his trial. But even worse than that, he turns up late with 3 bench warrants for failing to appear for his last pre-trial hearing 3 weeks ago, and totally unprepared to represent himself. Judge Middleton is not happy.
Deborah Davis is here from the prosecutor's office. Samuel R. Perdue, who also is known as Samir Morrow Bay, is here today. He has 3 separate driving suspended charges that were scheduled for jury trial. File 213ST alleges driving suspended second offense on January 31st, 2021 here in St. Joseph County. File 202073 alleges driving suspended on September 17th here in St. Joseph County. I think there may be a speeding charge with that. File 202653 also charges driving suspended second offense and forgery and speeding. All those matters were scheduled for jury trial today, November 10th. Mr. Morrow Bay wishes to represent himself on these matters. He has a perspective on the Michigan Motor Vehicle Code that disagrees with the state's version of it, but
this guy can't even turn up for his own pre-trial, and he's late for this trial. So I don't think any of his debunked legal theories will be getting any kind of airing today. Just a hunch.
He didn't want an attorney and didn't wish to have representation. He wanted to represent himself in all of these matters. So we treated him like an attorney. We set the matter for a final pretrial to prepare for jury trial. And he didn't show up. So there are presently 3 arrest warrants for Mr. Morrow Bay's arrest for failing to appear for duly scheduled last pretrials about 3 weeks ago. We don't show up on the morning of trial with a basket full of papers and inconvenience 30 to 50 jurors who have to come in and hear your case and several witnesses without preparing for it. So we scheduled a pretrial conference and you didn't show up. So I've called off the jurors for today, and the prosecutor has called off all the witnesses. And there are currently 3 separate warrants for your arrest for failing to appear. But you're here now.
Judge Middleton has given this guy so many chances over the last few months and has treated him really well, but we all saw this coming a mile off with how disrespectful he was in previous hearings. Judge Middleton is a fair judge, but this guy is pushing his luck.
I think I was unaware.
We sent that to the address that you gave us. And if you're representing yourself, you need to act like you're representing yourself. We sent you duly notice to your Sage Street address in Kalamazoo. The same notice you got for this.
I don't live there anymore, and I can't represent myself. I am myself.
All right, well, I'm not clairvoyant. I don't know that you moved. So, Mr. McNair, you're driving me crazy. I'm gonna put you in the waiting room. You're walking all over the place and flashing the screen and giving me vertigo, and you're sideways and upside down. So I'll be with you in a bit. Don't go away. Yes, that's your position. Then you're not doing a very good job of it because you didn't tell me where you lived. You didn't show up for a pretrial while we prepared for this. And now you come rolling in with a hat on the morning that your 30 or 40 jurors are supposed to be here. That's not a very good way to do business.
It's my religious headdress.
I'm a Moorish American national.
Yes, I recall.
Well, that looks like a plain old woolly hat to me, but what do I know? Oh, and is that your fake Moorish driver's license there I can see? Because that won't help you now or in the future, because it's not a state-issued driver's license.
All right.
Proven jurisdiction to begin with.
Ms. Davis is here.
I'm still waiting for jurisdiction.
On behalf of the prosecutor's office. Ms. Davis, you have any thought on this?
Your Honor, I would ask that he be held in contempt for failing to appear at the last pretrial. I would also ask that an order enter regarding discovery if all of these items that he's holding on to are intended to be used as exhibits at the trial. I would like to have copies of those so that we can be prepared. Also, I'd like to have our motion for joinder of the cases heard so we can settle that matter prior to choosing the jury and having another date set.
Right in the middle of my busy arraignment morning when I have 14 people waiting to be arraigned, that probably work out too good. But it's all on him. He didn't show up. He also got notice of your motion. Mr. Morrow Bay, do you have documents that you were going to present as part of your defense?
I mean, I mailed in documents and I never got a response.
Well, a real lawyer would know to follow up on stuff like that to make sure that you are ready for your trial. But you can't even be bothered to turn up for your hearings, so expect what's coming to you, I guess.
Well, do you have some you wish to present?
Well, I mailed in an affidavit to you more than once, and this is also my legal notice for my lawful name change, because I put it on the record that I'm a Moorish American national and I'm not American or a U.S. citizen, excuse me. I'm a man of the land. I'm native to the land. So so a lot of these rules that the state of Michigan is creating is not applicable to me, unfortunately. And I was trying to be respectful to the court and let the court know since the beginning in a respectful manner.
I guess that's a no then. You don't have anything to present. What a surprise. And it looks like Judge Middleton has heard enough.
And I have lots of documentation to prove it.
All right. I want you to take Mr. Perdue into custody. We're going to execute the 3 bench warrants that are currently out for his arrest for contempt. We'll take him to jail and we'll make an arrangement later to discuss.
Are you arresting me right now? Wow.
I have time to do it now. Thank you. Bye. Mr. Perdue, you're going to jail, the St. Joe County Jail here in St. Joe County, and I'm going to hold on to you in lieu of 3 $1,000 bonds till we can review your contempt and the other things we need to deal with. But if you're going to represent yourself, you need to do it right. You need to show up when you're supposed to show up. You need to follow the rules of evidence and procedure. You don't just come in and say, I'm my own country, I'm going to do what I want. So you're going to jail.
I was unaware.
The bond is $1,000 per file, and I will talk with you later. So right now you're going to the St. Joe County Jail. All right, we'll deal with him, Deborah, when we have more time. But he's clearly in contempt. And he is his own person, so he isn't representing himself. He is himself. We'll see if we can sort that out.
Play stupid games, win stupid prizes, I guess. This arrest has actually been on the cards for the last 6 months or so. Judge Middleton did warn him numerous times that this would happen, but at least he's off the road. Well, for now at least. Right, that's it for another video. Thank you to
I'll give you to 30. I'll give both sides 30, but you can give me some time back if you'd like. Feel free to do that. Let's see. Anything else? No. Just coordinate, Kevin and Nacho with Saul with regard to the defendant, please, before he goes back in. Other than that, have a good evening, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow. Oh, yes. If you already need an interpreter for any of your witnesses, okay, I'll give you to 30. I'll give both sides 30, but you can give me some time back if you'd like. Feel free to do that. Let's see. Anything else? No. Just coordinate, Kevin and Nacho with Saul with regard to the defendant, please, before he goes back in. Other than that, have a good evening, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow. Oh, yes. If you already need an interpreter for any of your witnesses, okay, I'll give you to.
Okay, let's see what else I can find, which oh, this one sounds good. Man wanted for murder calls 911 because his French fries are cold. Okay, here we go.
Six two Kennesaw. Did he advise what van? I got 3 white vans. I got 3, so 10-4. I got 3 white vans. Nobody's come out of them. 10-22. I got contact. What's up, man?
We're the ones that called.
Okay, what's up?
Basically, we went in there, purchased the food. I guess there's something wrong with their server. A lady before us tried to order on the little box thing. She said that wasn't working. He had to stop us from ordering and go help her.
Okay.
So he probably frustrated at work. You know what I'm saying? That's the whole scenario.
Okay.
What I get.
So why'd y'all call? So like, what happened?
Because we ordered the food. He couldn't print us a receipt.
Okay.
So he said the receipt would be printed in the back. So I said, okay. So we sat down, me and my fiance, looking for homes around here.
Gotcha.
So we went back to Progressive Rentals, looking at homes.
Uh-huh.
I guess our order was called, but we don't even know our order number.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So now our food is sitting there cold. So when I come up, I say, I try to fry. The fries they're lukewarm, but they're not hot.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So I just asked him, can we get some fresh fries?
Okay.
He said, okay, the fries are not hot. Touch the fries. I said, no, they're not hot. And at this point, you don't touch them. So, yeah, can I just get a fresh set?
Okay.
So is he getting the fries? And I said, can I also get the receipt? That was 5 minutes ago.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Excuse me, sir. 5 minutes ago, I can run my store however I want to run my store. Okay. This now, sir, I didn't pay it. He said, matter of fact, you can leave my property. Get off my property now. Or you can come and get, I'll do a refund. I said, sir, with Cash App card, it's 3 to 7 business days to do a refund. Just give me my set of fries and my receipt. That's what you're supposed to do anyway when I pay for my order.
Okay.
This is not my store. He telling me this is his business. He owns this. Like, it's not
I
that
understand.
deep. We just need the fries and the burger.
Okay. Do you have your ID on you?
No, sir.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna have to get your information.
Okay.
What's your last name?
Sims.
S-I-M-S?
S-I-M-E-S.
E-S. And first name?
A-N-T-O-I-N-E.
O-I-A-N-E. A-N-T-O-I-A-N-E. What's your birthday? He's gonna hang out with you for a second. Okay, I'm gonna go and talk to him real quick. Yeah. Let's go inside. Let's talk inside. Outside of here. Somewhere. I don't want us to be outside talking.
That's fine.
We can talk right here, or we can go inside, it don't matter. So what happened?
You got a lot.
Okay. So break it down for me. What happened?
He insists that all his food's cold.
Okay.
He's burning my hands. So whatever. That's not doesn't really matter.
Okay.
Get to the next level, starts cussing me. You better give me fresh fries, motherfucker. It's like, what? here's a little old lady, and she just came up to us and said, if you need me to talk to the police, I said, no, I got this. But he starts losing it, starts shoving his food at me.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, sorry. I said, well, tell you what, you can take your business elsewhere, give me a car, give me a refund. No, you're not going to give me an effort refund, you're going to give me my food and my money back. I said, okay, look, sir. I started shoving his food. I took his food, so he's got nothing to shove at me now, because next thing you know, he's throwing his drink at me. So I took his food, took it to the Sprite, put it in the trash. Here, give me your card, I'll give you a refund, take your business elsewhere. Please don't come back.
Okay.
Screaming at me, I want him CT'd. You know,
Okay. Did you give him his refund? Like, is that all part?
he refused to.
Okay.
You're not going to give me a refund.
Okay.
Excuse my language.
No, you're fine.
This is the way he was talking.
Okay.
So I don't want him CT'd. I don't want to ever have him back.
Okay.
I mean, dude's obviously on probation, got an ankle bracelet on.
Okay. What is your information too?
Dave Hamilton.
If you have your ID, that'd be much easier. Perfect. He's gonna hang out with you for a second, okay? I'm gonna go and talk to him real quick. Yeah. Let's go inside. Let's talk inside. Outside of here.
What's going on, man?
How you doing?
Good. So what happened?
Basically, from my understanding,
Uh-huh.
he probably just frustrated at work. His service is down, and there's all type of stuff going on.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? That's basically the whole.
What happened? 16?
Huh?
What happened?
I came in here to place food.
Okay.
I paid for my food.
Okay.
Signal 19, signal 21. You at the UPS store on 41. The receipt was coming out. The receipt wasn't working. But you see, I pay attention to everything. You're awesome. You pay attention to everything also. You're surrounded. So when I first come in, the lady is at the kiosk, and she's trying to place an order, but she said it did not work. It did not go through. So he had to stop us from ordering to go help her.
Okay.
So now that's letting me know the whole service is, up right now at McDonald's. So he's sitting here, and when the receipt is to come out, he's sitting there like the receipt is coming out, but he knows not. He's thinking I'm a young adult. I'm not going to ask for no receipt when I use my card.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? So now that I asked for the receipt, he say, "Oh, it's printed in the bag. I'll get the receipt."
Mm-hmm.
I said, "Okay, cool." So we sit back, start looking at our homes. We're looking at Progressive Rentals, looking for homes around here. So we start doing that. At this point, we don't have a receipt number to know our order to call.
Mm-hmm.
The food was called. The food was been sitting out. So the fries and stuff, it got cold. The bag wasn't rolled up. Anything was wide open.
Mm-hmm.
I just asked him, can we get a new set of fries, some fresh fries? And he said, the fries are not fresh enough for you. They're not hot to touch the fries and everything. I said, no, they're not, sir. And at this point, you'd already done touched them.
Right.
You feel me? And I already done paid and still don't have a receipt.
Mm-hmm.
I have done nothing wrong. It's just your business is, you feel me? Your Wi-Fi is down or your whatever, your service is down right now.
So say you touched the fries?
Yeah. You feel me? Squaws them and say they're not hot enough for you. No, they're not, sir. And then also when he's walking back, I said, can you also get my receipt? That was 5 minutes ago.
Uh-huh.
And I guess he turned back around on some frustration with anger, with aggression.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I run this store. You can leave out of my premises and this and this. And matter of fact, what did I do wrong, sir?
Mm-hmm.
I'm still waiting on my receipt and just a fresh set of fries.
Okay.
Nothing else.
Nothing got physical? Nothing got physical?
That's what I'm saying. It's just like some frustration. When you get down to the nitty-gritty.
November Tango, where do you said you're looking for houses? You guys from around kind of stuff?
Going through
Okay.
All right, so here's the deal. He does not want you coming back in the store. He actually wants us to criminally trespass you, so you will not be allowed back at this McDonald's.
I don't even stay here.
It doesn't matter. He's requested it. We got to do it. It's not a big deal. It's a piece of.
Charge me?
No, we're not charging you. It's a piece of paper we're going to give you that's going to say, "Hey, you can't come back to this McDonald's." That's all it is.
Wow. No, just realistically, did I do anything?
I don't know. I'm not here to even figure that out. I'm here to keep the peace. Yeah, this is completely civil. So
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
No, I don't want to complain about it. No,
so
fine, man. I'm just don't understand what I did wrong with this.
no, you're good. Do you have CT forms? Okay, I have CT forms. That's fine. It's not a big deal. So look, all right. So this is civil, okay? As a business owner, he has the right to refuse service to anyone he chooses to refuse service to. Just like if you own a business, you have the same right to do the same thing.
Exactly.
If you own a physical business, like you didn't have you can CT whoever the hell you want. You can do whatever, as long as it's within the law, and that's within the law. Okay. All right. So hang out with him. I'm gonna get that form. It's a simple form that says, "Hey, just don't come back to this McDonald's." Now, I'll tell you, if you do come back to this McDonald's when we get caught out here,
No,
you go to jail.
I'm not.
All right?
I'm not. I got it smart.
So, you cool with the refund?
Yeah. So
Okay.
I just got to go in there and tap my card.
Yeah, I will get that in just a second, okay?
Okay.
Go ahead. Stand for it. Stand by.
And the daughter is inside with her door locked. She should be the only one since 7 now.
Wanted person, caution, violence, armed and dangerous.
Okay.
All right, spell your last name for me.
SIMES.
Okay. Where's your driver's license out of?
I don't have.
Okay.
I get my mother's got.
Okay. SIMES. Spell your first name again.
ANTOINE.
OINA.
OINE.
OINE. Okay.
So I'm basically just banned from here.
Correct.
Not Kennesaw.
His name. Their name? I can't remember.
Yeah, so
We got new forms, so I don't remember.
His name here, and then the manager's name.
That's what I thought.
So he's the manager or somebody else?
He's the owner.
So that's why he feels like it.
Like I said, if you want to take it any higher, you call corporate.
Yeah. Nah, this is just 10 bucks.
Is it 10-17?
I don't know yet.
Man, it's gaming, man. Yeah, I got the shades.
Authorized representative of.
Down at the spoon. Yeah.
What's the address here?
It was like.
Yeah. I gotta look it up. So many damn
Hey,
addresses.
what's the address?
So there's possibly a 1099. 2049 Comp Parkway.
You got it?
Yeah, I got it.
You got it.
Yeah. Give me just a second.
Excuse me, sir. So there's no secrets or nothing like that?
No.
Just don't show up and
The way
come in
it
the record.
works, like, you're not going to get fined for it.
Yeah, no. I'm gonna get him to fill this out. Where'd he go? Yeah, just whatever. Huh? Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. All right, Mr. Sims, come over here. I'm gonna have you sign this.
I'm not under arrest or anything, yo.
No, sir. Just come over here. I'm gonna have you sign this real quick.
I said I'm not under arrest or anything.
No, no, you're not. Yeah, just come over here. I'm gonna have you sign this real quick.
You have to sign it saying that you're not
Yeah.
going to come back to the property.
So you'll fill this part out.
Can I see it, sir?
Yeah. You come over here, man.
No, I'm afraid of y'all, sir.
Why are you afraid?
3 years, sir. I'm afraid of you.
All right, I'm gonna walk you through. Why are you doing that?
I know how to fill it out.
Why are you doing that?
I know how to fill. Am I
All
right?
right, yeah.
No, let's get it.
Car. 6-2 Kennesaw, call Cobb.
All units, we need to cover all entrances to the 3,000 building.
Yep.
Yes, last contact probably 5 minutes still. Eleven 16, yes, I'm not 3,000 open. 11 16, 60 comes up. 10-1.
$11.52 kind of on the back stairwell, 3,000 building, stair C number 2.
Okay, 3-1-1-4.
When you get out of court on the apartment complex. $52. You already search up here? You already search up here? All right. If you want to hold this spot, I'll go 3rd floor.
Is there any word on if you have a 69?
I didn't know 69 on him.
Okay.
Hey, stop! Freeze! Clear the net! He's running! 3rd floor! Down 3rd floor! 3,000 apartment building! Freeze, mother! Head towards stairwell. 3rd floor. Weapon out. You may have moved forth.
Got him! Contact, backside! Taser deployed! Put your hands out! Hands out! Get my phone! Trigger finger back! Get my phone! Trigger finger back! Get my phone, it fell over there. It's over there, phone over there. Sorry. I got taser.
Where's the phone?
Somewhere over there. Here, sit up. Sit up. It's on his back leg.
Please give me.
We got an
ambulance on the way. Please. You can run all over this town. No, I ain't run nowhere. You ran. I've been sitting the whole fucking time. I can't run. Sir, please stand me, please. Who?
Are you the one?
Sir, can you please stand me? Please. Sir, I'm telling you, I cannot. I was just complaining about the heat. Sir, I need to be lifted. I cannot be
Too old
lifted.
for
I
this.
can breathe correctly, sir. No, I cannot, sir.
Hey, where's that blanket? Get out of that blanket.
Sir, my eyes are closed, sir. That's why I'm
Where's the car?
Okay, we got it. But I don't want to feel like this. I want to pass out.
There's nothing we can do for you right now. We don't have a medic for you right now.
Please just lift me. That's all I'm telling you.
11-6, so we're on the backside of 3,000.
I cannot. My body is weak, so that's why this IV is going to help me.
We can't give you an IV right now. You're going to have to wait. They're on the way.
Cuffs?
Yeah, he's cuffed.
Put him in the shade over here.
Yeah, let's put him in the shade.
Put him in the grass right here.
Listen. I'm telling you.
We're trying to move you like you wanted to.
I can't use my legs. I'm telling you, I'm locked up.
Right here.
I've got an ankle monitor.
Yeah.
I know.
All right.
Put that back. Take care of this.
This is the second taser. Please try.
A little bit. Please, everyone, please have a seat. Members of the gallery, none of us know what this verdict is going to be. I'd like to please ask everyone that as difficult as this has been for many of you, I'd like for you all to please refrain from outbursts of any sort. I know that it's a very emotionally charged situation, and I understand it. I can never place my shoes in yours, but please respect the process and the outcome. Members of the jury, did you select the presiding juror? Please stand. Madam Presiding Juror, did the jury of your peers, 12 of you, did you deliberate in accordance with my instructions?
Yes, Your Honor.
Was a unanimous verdict reached? Was a unanimous verdict reached?
Yes, Your Honor.
Was the verdict forms filled out in accordance with my instructions?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you sign them?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did your signature reflect the decision, the unanimous decision of this jury?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Please hand the verdict form to the bailiff. Thank you for your service. In cause number 2018 CRA 852D1, in the case of the state of Texas versus Ronald Anthony Burgos Aviles, the jury has returned a unanimous verdict. I'm about to read the verdict of this jury on punishment as to count number 1. Special issue number 1 on count 1. Whether there is a probability that the defendant, Ronald Anthony Burgos Aviles, would commit criminal act of violence that would constitute a continuing threat to society. Answer, yes. Signed by the foreperson. Answers to special issue number 2. Whether taking into consideration all the evidence, including the circumstances of the offense, the defendant's character and background, and the personal moral culpability of the defendant, there is a sufficient mitigating circumstance or circumstances to warrant that a sentence of life imprisonment without parole rather than a death sentence be imposed. Answer, yes. Signed by the foreperson of the jury. Verdict on punishment as to count number 2. Special issue number 1. Whether there is a probability that the defendant, Ronald Anthony Burgos Aviles, would commit criminal acts of violence that would constitute a continuing threat to society. Answer, yes. Signed by the foreperson of the jury. As to special issue number 2. Whether taking into consideration all the evidence, including the circumstances of the offense, the defendant's character and background, and the personal moral culpability of the defendant, there is a sufficient mitigating circumstance or circumstances to warrant that a sentence of life imprisonment without parole rather than a death sentence be imposed. Answer, yes. Signed by the foreperson of this jury. Thank you. You may be seated. Members of the jury, you heard me read your verdict. It is a unanimous verdict. I'd like for you all to raise your right hand, the members of the jury, not the alternates, who in fact will indicate to me that this is your individual verdict. Please raise your right hand now. Thank you. The record reflects that all 12 members of the jury have raised their right hand. Members of the jury, thank you very much for your service. In a minute, I'm going to ask Mr. Rubio to send you back into the jury room for some final words and some documents that we need to also give you. While you do that, I am going to, in fact, do the sentencing. As a result of your verdict, I now need to sentence the defendant. So you don't have to be here when that occurs. You can start heading back into the deliberation room and wait for me there while I do that, or you may choose to remain, however you'd like. Do you like to go back or stay?
We'll remain here.
Thank you. You bring the defendant forward, please. Ronald Anthony Burgos Aviles, you heard me announce the verdict of the jury with regard to both counts of this indictment. It is now my job to sentence you in accordance with that indictment, with that verdict. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
The jury answered both counts 1 and 2 with regard to question number 1, yes. The jury also answered as to both counts 1 and 2 on special issue number 2, yes. As a result of that, after being found guilty by this jury of 2 counts of capital murder, and after giving us the verdict that they have just announced, it is my job now to pronounce sentence. As to count 1 of capital murder, and as a result of the sentence of the verdict of the jury, you will be sentenced on count 1 as to capital murder to a term of life without the possibility of parole. As to count 2, after being found guilty of capital murder and after hearing the verdict from the jury on the phase 2 of this trial, you will also serve a term of life without the possibility of parole. Your sentence will start immediately. And I'll ask the sheriff's office to take you back to the Webb County Jail to be processed in accordance with our procedures and transported to the facility as soon as possible. Court cost?
$945.
Thank you. Please have a seat. Right over. Is your victim impact?
We have some members of the family on the victim impact statements. I have 2. Is anyone else going to talk? I'll start off by reading the first impact statement.
Let me say this on the victim's impact statement. You may come forward. These are going to be outside of, they're off the record. They're not on the record. They are supposed to be done after a sentence has been imposed so that no one's influenced by the victim's impact statement. So they are also, it's really important that we stay within the confines of the victim impact statement. I don't want to have to stop anybody from giving us their thoughts. So please stay within the confines. I'm sure the district attorney's office have already advised you all what those confines are. So please come forward. You can stand here next to Mr. Alanis. On this side. Thank you. We are now off the record. Thank you.
So I will first read the statement by the father, Ramiro Hernandez. He's asked me to read this. I, Ramiro Hernandez, father of Griselda Hernandez and grandfather of Dominic, will tell you that my life has changed forever. Nothing will ever be the same. Our clock stopped. It's very sad. Our family have a constant reminder of how life was before this nightmare when we lost Gray and Dominic. We also lost a piece of our hearts. Our Christmas, birthdays, and get-togethers are not like they used to be. Unless you have been through what we are going through, you will never know how we feel. Ramiro Jr. has asked me to read this to Mr. Burgos. What made you take my sister's and nephew's life? What's the worst that could have happened? Pay child support? Your wife forgive you. Like all the other girls you've been with, or leave. You then start a new life. The way you took Gray and Dominic out of this world, not even an animal would have done this to his own family. You did not only destroy our family, but you destroyed your family also. The only advantage you have is you can see your family over a screen. When will I get to see Gray and Dominic? When can Gray and Dominic visit us? The way you talk to your mother and your wife tells me you ain't shit and never will be. Your dad said Satan did it, not you. Well, I believe your dad is a coward. Looking at it that way by not teaching you how to man up to your own actions. A father very well knows what their children are capable of. When you speak to your dad, tell him I'd gladly take him to the site where his grandson's last moments were. Daddy wasn't there.
My life, my world has become one filled with pain and sorrow and grief.
If you want, if you can stand right behind that mic right there. This one, this one, this one.
I await justice for the barbaric, horrific acts of violence that you executed and ended with Gray and Dominic's life. Until this judicial process is complete, it continues to be an ongoing detrimental journey for me. I continue to mourn and grieve. Every holiday, every family gathering, their chairs remain empty as my heart. This void, this emptiness is filled with rage and fury. Not having my sister in this world has been the most difficult pain I've ever had to live with. The loss of our little angel Dominic has been of intense magnitude without comparison. A loss of this immensity changes one's course beliefs and questions my faith, to say the least. I will always celebrate Gray's life with us, as she was always, will be remembered with her joy and laughter, as she truly was. We are resilient. This is and will not be the end of me. My sister put up a hell of a fight. She set the bar pretty high, and I will not give up. I will not surrender. She is and was a warrior, a free-spirited, warm-hearted, and selfless soul. So much so that you, being a disgrace of human being as you are, had to drag her to where you ambushed her and cowardly rid of her and your son. A spineless, cowardly move. Yet, she stood before you, and as the warrior she is and was, she challenged you to your ambush, the ambush you set up, the ambush you planned out, the ambush you executed. You bullshit about God now, preaching the word in vain. There is not enough blood or flesh in your body to ever give justice to Gray and Dominic. I am cognizant of where you're going. I know where you're headed. And I damn you. I condemn you, not the sin, you. With every fiber in my body, every emotion in my soul. The worst of most violent, sinister stays. I pray to all entities that you relieve the pain that you cause to my blood every minute, every day, until you are delivered to your Maker. And then you get to relive it in hell for all eternity.
This is on behalf of Jaden, Grace, Griselda's son, and Dominic's brother. April 9, 2018 is the day my life wouldn't be the same anymore. In the blink of an eye, my mother and brother were taken away from me. Never will I see them again in my life. If only I could turn back time to stop this tragedy that happened to my mother and my baby brother. I'll never see Dominic grow. I will never see my mom become a nurse. My mother and brother will never see me grow. I become older through the years. My mother and brother won't be there. I really miss my little brother. I miss my mom. But they will always have a place in my heart. My heart may feel lonely sometimes, but I will always know there's still two in front of me. Dominic and my mother, Gray. I miss my mother. I miss my mother's laugh. My family would tell her when she laughed, they would tell her to shut up, Gray. My mother would bring the joy of my family. Now it's not the same. No one to laugh, incredibly, no one to make fun of each other. My mother would sacrifice anything for me and Dominic, just for fun. I remember my mom would talk to us, would take us to Imaginarium at Mall del Norte. My favorite things to do was play in the area where there was a pile of phone blocks. That was my favorite. I'm not sure about Dominic, though he would just wonder of curiosity as a 1-year-old. It might be a small place, but it meant the world to me. My mother was the best mom I could ever ask for. She was a hard worker. She was a great cook and the best mother. And for Dominic, he was my best brother, my only brother, the brother that I wished for. Now I don't have nobody. Dominic was my brother that I would call the boss baby. As in ways he wanted something his way, he would get it. Simply just being a boss baby. Now I just don't get to see them. And I wish I could, but I can't because this is reality. And you can't change this reality. I wish this was a dream, but no, they're gone and not coming back. So for me, I don't have a mother or a brother, only memories. As I stand here in front of you with my broken heart and tears in my eyes, but I need for you to hear every single word that I have to say to you. Anthony, because that's the name we know you from, Griselda. You killed my daughter and my grandson, Dominic. You ambushed them. You were a border patrol. You were there to protect them. But what did you do? Only God can forgive you. What a coward of you to have ambushed the mother, Griselda, and your own son, Dominic. I can imagine my grandson Dominic's face, his cries, when he saw his mom being ambushed. And then you reached out to him to get him out of that stroller, thinking at that moment that he was going to be saved by his father. And what did you do? You just killed him. He was running into the arms of the murderer. What an animal you are. 20-month-old baby. Baby Dominic did not deserve this. Why? He was just a baby. He was my grandson. I will not see Griselda or Dominic ever again. Jadis was Griselda's first son. He was 6 at that time. He's 12 now. Jaden had lost his mom and his brother forever. He cries for his mom. And Dominic, you have killed 2 precious lives, my daughter and my grandson. And all because of what? Not being manned up. Is this what they deserved? When Jaden will no longer have his mom, the same way you held Dominic to take away his life, that's the same way I thought your life would be taken away too, strapped like you did to Mijo, to my Dominic. And now you want to know about prisons, high risk, and violence? Did my daughter Griselda and Dominic ask you if the park was Park Father Magnabo was a high risk park or a violence park? Did they ask you that the way you're making your questions right now? No, because you were supposed to protect them. And in your Bible, have you already read where it says, "Thou shalt not kill"? Have you? They didn't deserve this, Griselda or Dominic. will always be missed from birthdays, holidays, special occasions, graduations, Jaden's. He will not have a mom to be there. I hope that every time you close your eyes, you see Griselda and Dominic fighting for their lives. I will forever hold Griselda and Dominic close to my heart. Will there nobody will hurt them ever again. And now forever, they shall live with me in my heart. All because of you, all that decision that you made. You didn't want to pay child support, right? Well, guess what? Now nobody's going to pay you. Well, you'll be working for free. I love you, Gray and Dominic. Mama loves you.
You ambushed my nephew and my sister. You thought you were going to get away with it, didn't you? No doubt you hurt our family. Now it's time for your family to cry for you and miss you because you will be in prison. My sister and my nephew's souls will live forever. My father taught me that a man takes care of his responsibilities no matter the situation. I'm guessing your father didn't teach you how to be a man. You will be forgotten like yesterday's newspaper after today. It pleases me knowing that for the rest of your pathetic, miserable life, you will be missing all of your family gatherings while being locked in a cell, thinking of what you did. Coward. Now you want to study the Bible and act like you found God? After this court session is done, I'm going with my family to go have a nice dinner with our loved ones around the table, while you eat alone in your cell wishing you can go home. Goodbye, coward.
Thank you. Members of the jury, you may follow Mr. Rubio into the jury room. Officers, you may take the defendant. This court will stand in recess. Thank you all very much.
Well, I wish they had cuffed him in the presence of the gallery like they did in the Bradley Young case earlier today. That was a satisfying moment. And he shouldn't have had the dignity of having a suit. You know, he doesn't deserve an air of respectability once he was convicted. So, yes, and he'll have his head shaved, new mugshot, probably published in the morning. Hello, Lydia. Wow, this has been a long day. So, since he was on Ellie, is he going to be in General Pop? Probably not initially, but at some point, I'm sure he will be in that room with a dorm room with 45 prisoners. And I hope that the lights go out and he gets some treatment. So, poor Jaden, look at him there. He's fighting back the tears. I hope somebody gives the young man a scholarship so that he can go on and have a fantastic career that would make his mom proud. Hi, Deline M. Yeah, Jojo, he gets a cushy life now with everything taken care of for him and free cable and free etc. I don't understand why they get all those perks. Well, not only do they despise Border Patrol, but he killed a helpless little baby. And they don't take too kindly to people who do that. And, killed the mother of his child, and they have sisters and they have, daughters. They're going to think this guy is scum. Well, it's disappointing, but he's been convicted. Alyssa didn't get that. So, and we get a different shot of the courtroom. What's next? Good question. Got to find another compelling case to follow. Seems like we don't always know about them very far in advance. So, if you hear of one starting, let me know, and we'll see about the next one, and hopefully Chad Daybell gets what he deserves. And I don't think Lori Daybell's been charged with first-degree murder in Charles Vallow's death. Let's take a quick look. Okay, she's been charged with conspiracy to commit first-degree murder. Oh, that's with her kids. So let's see. Doesn't specify, but I think it was second-degree murder because they don't want to risk overcharging. So, Lisk. I'm not sure what that is. Let's see. Oh, Long Island. Yeah. Okay, got it. I was just Googling it and went, okay, yeah. I don't know if they've got the death penalty in New York. Let's take a look. It's outlawed in New York after the appellate court declared the practices currently practiced unconstitutional in 2004. So it's not going to be a death penalty case there. It doesn't get used much anywhere these days, it seems. You do get it in a few states. I think there was a case in Florida recently. So, okay, well, I think it's a time that we call it a night, but thank you for keeping me company here, and we'll have to see what the next trial is. So, everybody have a good night. Jojo, you have a good day. Okay. Well, I guess it's evening maybe soon. Okay. Well, good night. Bye-bye.